Yes, baby Jackson is cute.
Hello.
Yay!
Hello.
10 people.
Over 10 plus 5.
Yeah, that's
I really like the work working in this office because you get to hear airplanes smell like chlorine.
I know.
And
There's nothing that,
Clean smell.
that when you open the door, it's like nothing substitutes the.
So then it should still be recording me as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going.
Thank you.
Cool.
Okay, you ready? Okay, again, my name is Casey. This is for an advanced public speaking class at the University of Arkansas. So again, thank you for everybody who came out. I really, really appreciate it. So how many of you guys have pets of some sort? Okay. How many of you guys want to see your pets end up in an overcrowded animal shelter? Anybody? No? Okay. Although it may not be your own pet, we still have an obligation whenever a problem arises in our community to do what we can. I've volunteered at the Fayetteville Animal Shelter several times over the past couple weeks, and I've witnessed for myself just how bad the problem of overcrowding really is. Our community needs each and every one of you to reach out and help fight this issue of overcrowding. Everyone can be a part of the help. All you need to do is spay and neuter your pets, volunteer your time, and maybe possibly think about becoming a foster parent. For the next 10 minutes or so, I would like to talk to you about how bad the problem really is, put a plan into action, and then inform you on how you can be a part of the help. Overcrowding in animal shelters is a major problem not only in Northwest Arkansas, but all over the country. You've all seen the really sad commercials of the puppies behind the bars, and really all they want to do is just go home to a loving family. But did you ever stop and think that maybe that's how things really were? According to the NWA online webpage, which was last updated in 2011, the Rogers Animal Shelter was considerably over the number of cats and dogs it can comfortably house for a whole year. Front desk worker Shannon Rankin was quoted in that same year saying that the Fayetteville Animal Shelter was overcrowded and understaffed. The problem just isn't in Arkansas either. In an interview with KRQE News 13, animal shelter worker Dawn Glass stated that in 2011, their shelter had taken 600 transfer animals in from around the surrounding shelters. Just the next year, in July of 2012, they have already surpassed that number at 625, and there was 5 months still left in the year. Overcrowding in animal shelters can cause added stress to both the pets and the workers, and it can cause illnesses that could have been avoided in the first place. When a new pet is brought into an animal shelter, the correct procedure is to take the animal and isolate it away from the rest of the animals that are adoptable until a doctor can get to it and examine the state that it's in and kind of figure out the health. Unfortunately, this doesn't happen most of the time. Most of the time, especially in an overcrowded shelter, they just get put onto the live floor with all the rest of the adoptable animals. And now any of the diseases or the sicknesses that they had is airborne, and all of the other animals are susceptible to it. Some of the diseases can include feline leukemia, ringworm, kennel cough, just to name a few. Also, the more animals the shelter takes in, the less likely they are to have enough room to house them. It seems like anyone who decides that they don't want their pet anymore because it's too much responsibility or they bark at the wrong time of the day can just pawn their animals off on an animal shelter because they know that they have to take them in. This makes it hard on the shelters, especially a shelter that's maybe a kill shelter, because at that point they're forced with the decision to either transfer them out or to euthanize them. And that's a whole other issue that we're not going to get into. So why sit back and let this happen? Why not get out in your community and do something about it? Although we may never be able to completely prevent overcrowding, there are simple steps each one of you guys can take to help reduce the number of animals taken into a shelter. The first and probably the most important is to get your pet spayed or neutered. This helps lower the amount of animals that are on the streets and helps lower the amount of animals that can possibly be in a shelter. According to vetinfo.com, which was last updated in 2012, the average cat has about anywhere from 2 to 5 kittens per litter, depending on the age of the mom and the health. Whenever you take into consideration that a cat can have several litters per year, that's a lot of kitties really, really fast. So you can get your pet spayed or neutered at just about any vet clinic, your local vet clinic that you have. Most of them run around the same price range. So I went online to Spay Arkansas's webpage just to kind of get a ballpark range for you guys. They were last updated in 2012, so the prices are still the same. You can get your cat spayed or neutered for $30. You can get your dog spayed or neutered for starting at $45, $55, and then going up from there. So you can get any of that done. It's not hard to do, and they're right there in your community. Another thing that you can do is volunteer. So like I said, I volunteered at the shelter several times over the past couple of weeks. The only thing that you'll need to do to volunteer is you have to take a class that's required, and they can just kind of show you around the shelter and kind of let you know the do's and the don'ts and that kind of thing. Once you take that class, you can be eligible to volunteer at any time. You can just walk in and do it. You don't have to call ahead or anything like that. Whenever you volunteer at a shelter, it's important because it helps socialize the animals. So it makes them more desirable for people who want to adopt them. If a puppy, the more people that a puppy can be involved with whenever it's young, the better social skills it'll have whenever it gets older. So lastly, the third thing that you can do is maybe think about becoming a foster parent. You can choose any type of pet, and you can choose how many pets you want to foster. Whenever you become a foster parent, you're taking in an animal that's either too young or too old to survive by itself in a shelter. You're taking it into your home for a short amount of time until it can get to a state where it's able to be in the shelter. The shelter that you foster from takes care of any kind of financial issues, so up-to-date shop records, food, toys, anything like that. So it's never a financial burden to you. If we can put the simple plans into action and execute them, I'm positive it'll make a huge impact on the overcrowding issue. Not only do these small steps help our big problem, but they have other benefits as well. According to the Animal Health Foundation blog, last updated on June 25th of 2012, one of the primary benefits for spaying female cats and dogs is the prevention of mammary cancer. If a dog is spayed before her first heat, she has a 0% chance of getting mammary cancer later on in life. Neutering male cats and dogs helps prevent testicular cancer, as well as reducing the urine markings in your house, any kind of aggression issue towards other dogs or any other animals, and then territorial issues as well. So Spay Tulsa is a nonprofit organization out of Oklahoma, and they did a awesome event earlier this year. They ran an event in a public place that whenever you bring your cat in to get it spayed or neutered, they will pay you $5. So not only, that's great, you're getting $5 out of it, and I think it's a fantastic way to do that, to get people out and to do what they really say. Because you can sit here and say that you want to get your pet spayed or neutered all you want, but that actually gets people out and does it. I feel like time is a very valuable thing these days. I feel like people don't want to volunteer their time because they think they're going to have to join some kind of group or, get on a board and go to all of these meetings and donate all this money, when in reality, most of the time it's just volunteering a little bit of your time. So, there you go. Whenever you have a foster pet, not only are you doing the shelter a huge favor, you're doing yourself and your foster pet a favor. If you have other dogs, say that you have a puppy and maybe it has some aggression issues, bringing in a foster pet can help both of the pets. You can work with both of them and help with your pet not being so aggressive towards other dogs. Another thing is if you have an animal, say you have a cat or a dog already, bringing in another animal, say you're thinking about getting another one, if you foster one for a couple of weeks, that'll kind of give you the feeling of what it's like to have another animal in your house. Our community needs each and every one of you to reach out and help fight this issue. Everyone can be a part of the help by either spaying or neutering your pets, volunteering your time, or thinking about becoming a foster parent. Overcrowding in animal shelters is a huge problem that needs to be addressed. We may not ever be able to completely stop the problem, but with a couple simple steps and some time, we can make a huge impact together. So I challenge you. Go out this weekend, next weekend, take somebody with you, take your family with you, and have a good time. Make a difference not only in you and your family's life, but in an animal's life as well. Thank you. me. Does anybody have any questions? Yes.
Okay, so once you get approved to volunteer,
Yes.
you can take like, is there an age, like take a 9-year-old?
Yeah, no, you can take somebody and volunteer. Yeah, no problem. You'll just have to let them know. There's a sign-in sheet whenever you go, and you just have to write your name and whoever is volunteering with you down, and you can take anybody. It's fine.
And what kind of stuff do you need?
What we did, if we went in on Sunday, and they're not open to the public on Sunday, so we pretty much cleaned out cages, restocked food and water, took out the towels and the blankets in their cages, and just kind of replaced them. Some of the other times we went, we interacted with the cats for a couple hours. They were really super sweet. We just let them out of the cages and kind of run around and play. And one of the other times that we went, we got to do with the dogs. So we got to let the dogs out in the yard and kind of let them roam around. And there's some other stuff that you can do with the farmers market. Whenever the farmers market comes in Fayetteville, yeah, you can volunteer and take the dogs to the farmers market and kind of adopt them out through there. So
When you foster it, I mean, is there any like set length of time that you have to, or that?
no, you can just adopt or you can foster them for however long you want. I mean, of course, they still try to adopt them out, so they still have them ready for adoption, but just however long.
Do you take them home and you foster?
Yeah, you take them to your own house. Yeah.
What are like? Do you know like what the procedures are to like adopt a dog? Like, do you have to get like? I'm not sure, not a home study, but like, do you have to like provide some kind of document?
It's an application that you have to go through. Yeah, you got to put in your application. You have to be approved. It's kind of like getting an apartment, I guess. So you just have to be approved. And there's a fee of I think it's $60 at the Fayetteville Animal Shelter. You pay $60 because I adopted my dog from there. So it's really easy, super simple. So anything else?
Do you have the address for the Fayetteville Shelter?
It's I don't know the address, but it's over off of Mission. Do you know where that is?
I'm new to the area.
Okay, well I can let you know. No problem.
We can get it.
Okay, and we're going to Google. There you go. Get everybody in there. Okay.